Hi everyone. I hope you had a great weekend, a great Father's Day actually. I had a wonderful one. I have two sons, as I mentioned, 7 and 10 years old. They had a great surprise, and I received a lot of kisses. I hope you had also a wonderful one, even a better one at your end. So I would like to give you a short update about Poland, what is happening in Poland, and also about our projects. So the first thing is, unfortunately, the Polish government is no longer going to be supporting the private sector, which are supplying the accommodation facilities to the refugees, which means that starting from 1st of July, the hostel like we are supporting, the apartments all around Poland, the hotels all around Poland, the private people who open their homes to the refugees all around Poland are not going to be receiving any funds anymore. So of course, this doesn't mean that those refugees are going to be on the street. They are going to be thrown on the street. The government created a large, let's say, community centers, a large refugee camps, modern refugee camps. So those refugees are going to need to move into those refugee places. So the government is going to supply the accommodation facility as well as the food. Of course, the conditions are not going to be same as in the smaller places. So this was the case of our hostel in Wrocław. As you remember, we had 150 refugees living in that hostel, and we used to supply the food. We actually even organized a language course for them. So Joanna, the owner of the hostel, gave me a call. So I visited the place and I met with the refugees. So we asked the refugees what their plan was. So 68 of them told me that they would like to stay in a hostel at least for 2 months more. We are talking about 68 refugees, 25 women, and 43 of them are children. So those 25 women, they actually have a job. They have been working for 1.5 months in different sector in Wrocław. So they said that they need some more time so they can find an apartment, they can settle in, and they can stand on their own feet. So as Grand Circle Foundation, we have decided to help to those 25 mothers, and we have decided to go for and pay for their accommodation for the following 2 months. So these 2 months is going to give them some room, some time, some extra time to find a new place. Of course, after 2 months, we are going to reassess the situation, and if they need it, we are going to give another 1 month, for instance, an extra time to settle down. The rest of the refugees, they decided to go back to Ukraine because Lviv area and Kiev area is already safer, and those actually were the refugees who were living in those places. In Warsaw, we have 8 projects. Some of them are still in progress. And we have actually another one which is going to be about to be signed. So we are going to be using those projects, especially for those refugees who cannot find or who are not willing to stay in those large refugee camps. So this is, as I have stated before, it's a long-term project. So we are going to be accommodating more than 2,000 people, and we are going to be supporting them, helping them. But those people are not like the ones that they are just sitting and waiting for the support. For example, I had a privilege to virtually meet with Oksana and Valerie. They are a married couple. They used to live in a small town in Ukraine, and both of them are on wheelchairs. So when the war started, they couldn't go to the shelters because they were not wheelchair accessible. So they decided to take a train and come to Poland. So after they crossed the border, the volunteers helped them and transported them to a village, and they spent 2 months in a village in a garage of a house because the house was not prepared for the wheelchair as well, and they lived really in poor conditions. And after 2 months, the volunteers of Lena Grahowska reached out to them and took them to Siedlce, to one of the projects that we have prepared for the disabled people with the wheelchair accesses. So now they live there. and they are so happy that they found a place which is actually prepared for their own needs. But they are always there. Oksana and Valerie is always there when there is a job to do. I mean, they are the first ones to go. They are continuously calling on a daily basis Lena Grukovska Foundation and asking if there's anything they can do. So they assemble the chairs in the other projects. They cook the meals for selling in farmers market, so they can send these money back home to the beloved ones and also the Ukrainian army to defend the country. So it is not only Oksana and Valerie, these people, generally all those refugees living in our projects, they have a really big heart and they really would like to help as much as is possible. And in Konstantin project in Warsaw, we also started the language courses, so it is on a good track. In Ojarov project, we have a nice, a large garden, so we have decided to prepare a playing ground, outdoor playing ground for the children of Ojarov. So they are not going to be stuck in the building, but they can spend their time, their energy outside. We actually even organized a grill party. We found a lot of a lot of volunteers, so they assembled all those equipments, all those toys for the outdoor activities. So as Grand Circle Foundation, we don't only think or consider the accommodation of the refugees or the food of the refugees, but also the mental health of the refugees, because we know that it is really important to have a healthy mental condition to plan the future even better. And we can do all these things with your help, guys. And please be sure that we really wisely spend every single penny that you spend, you send to us, you send to Grand Circle Foundation. And we are really aware the responsibility that we are taking. And we act accordingly. And all these projects are long-term projects. If the war, even the war is going to be over tomorrow, those people need around 1 year to return back home, thinking about Bucha, Mariupol, that it is all destroyed. They really need some time to return back. So please keep helping and supporting us. Thank you.